Pump it up, pump it up.
Trae.
Come on, come on.
With Trae.
Pump it up, pump it up.
It's the day with
This is the day to gain inspiration, to make a positive change in the nation. We're inviting you to partake in conversation, to raise your vibration. It's the day that we will all celebrate all of our peace that make this thing elevate. Watch the negative fade away, cause it's the day with Trae.
Happy Wednesday, everybody, and welcome to The Day with Trae. I'm your guest host, Deaunte Damper, stepping in for my girl, Trae, this week. And while you're watching, I need you to do me a favor. I need you to like, share, and subscribe to Converge Media, where you can learn more about the Emmy Award-winning The Day with Trae, Back to Basic, and more. Go to whereweconverge.com to see why Black media matters, okay? And I would also say why Black art matters is because I have an amazing guest today, right? Logic and Mean is here in our studios, right? Another Griot Party Experience. We got poetry in motion happening at the Esquire Club. We're going to unpack the date. We're going to unpack the timeless experience that he always creates for community. I am just so proud of standing on the shoulders of Logic, but as well as our other artists and curators, such as my girl, Takia Ward, over there at her studio that she's about to get ready to start Art of the Matter Season 2. And we also have a space inside. But one thing that I always think about, especially in community, is where do we have a space to heal? Where do we have a space to collect? Where do we have a space to celebrate ourselves? So I thank artists like Takia. I thank spaces like A Space Inside. And I thank spaces and people like my brother, Logic. What's up, brother?
What's going on, boss?
I'm so happy to have you here.
Peace.
He got me, y'all, I would stand up so y'all could see it, but he got me this big T-shirt, but I'm going to make it work.
Hey, man, you know, you got a big personality, man, so you filling it up,
yeah,
man. You know what I'm saying?
Out.
You got that energy.
Yeah, I do.
Yes.
I do. And speaking of energy, because the last time I seen you, the AJ McQueen experience, of the AJ McQueen event that you had, right?
Yes.
Can you unpack? Mind you, we had that posted on Back to Basic a couple of weeks ago.
Right.
Can you tell community a little bit about what that experience was?
Man, the AJ McQueen experience was basically the graduation piece of the Seize the Garden project, where we took young folks and we put them in a recording studio, and then we shot a music video, and then we wanted them to meet AJ McQueen, a person who has 500,000, followers on Instagram, who's just really doing that good work. He wears crystals, you know what I'm saying? He does positive, hip hop music, and so it was just a great time, like, to really bring in our hometown heroes also. You know what I'm saying? Escapes me right now. I'm sorry. Kathy McCoy, you know what I'm saying? And then Aaron Payne, came and shared their stories of how they had, lost, children, sons. And so bringing AJ McQueen there with the youth, Seize the Garden, was basically reminding us that it starts with the seeds. If we want to grow this garden that we call community, it starts with us protecting them, teaching them nonviolent ways to resolve conflict and whatnot. So it was a very emotional day for me. Trying not to say I'm sorry for being emotional, because it had to happen, but that's basically what the AJ McQueen experience was. It was just a time to remind us that we really need to protect our children and teach them how to treat people how they want to be treated.
And above all else, I mean, you tapped in a little bit, and it was a very emotional day for all of us. But what I learned from that is vulnerability is our superpower.
It is.
On his family to converge in community, and watching him come up there and speak openly about grief and loss, the power that it took, and even the power that he's still building. And even with yourself, right? You are creating these spaces because and even watching you and your son, it is breaking generational curses when we put on events like this, right? And I want to go into poetry in motion in just a moment, but I want to talk to you a little bit about music, right? And about art, right? What has art and music done for you?
That's a good question. Art and music has saved my life. it started me being the only child for 17 years and me just being in a room, you know what I'm saying, by myself, whether it was just in solitude because I was on restriction or punishment, one of the many ways that my parents used to really try to manage and harness all this energy I had. You know, if I would get in trouble, go sit in your room, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes they take, you know, toys away from me and everything to, you know, further the punishment, to really teach me a lesson. So I had imaginary friends, you know, and then there'd be times where I would talk to these imaginary friends and I had shows and then I started rapping. Then I was like, this is an art form. You know what I'm saying? My mom was like, man, I was kind of worried about you and I'd be hearing you, you know, just rapping and talking to your imaginary friends and Michael and Jason. It's like, no, that saved my life. Those were characters that I created through my imagination, through my creativity, to help me cope with being the only child, with dealing with trauma of being distanced from my father, you know, based on the prison industrial complex, you know what I'm saying, at the young age of 5 years old. So art really saved my life. It became therapy. So anytime I was going through something, I'd write a rap or, you know, I talk to myself. And me talking to these imaginary friends was really just talking to different versions of myself. You know, they became my siblings. You know, I say that in one of my pieces, you know what I'm saying? Those poetry and images and all these things became my siblings and my friends.
Yeah, and I feel like when we talk about art and music, me, Eric, and Mead were talking about this earlier, and I'm going to ask you this question too. If you had to pick an album that described you, that if you wanted people to know who you are, younger self, middle self, and older self, what album would that be?
That's a tough one.
And it
I
could
got
be more
two.
than-
I
okay,
got two.
okay,
I got
so
two.
you got two? Okay.
I got two. My first one would be Kinda Blue
Okay.
by Miles Davis.
Okay.
That's one of the best albums ever.
Especially everything that he was going through at that time.
Man, in his relationship with drugs and things of that nature. So that really, it really highlights, you know, how a person's relationship with music really kept them alive. You know what I'm saying? And also became probably a curse for him too, because probably the reason why he used so much drugs is because of the pressure of performing in this crass consumer capitalist economy where you constantly got to put out stuff and you're not a person anymore, you're just a product on a shelf. The other album I will say is Ice Cube's Death Certificate, where he takes you from being born and then he takes you like, you know, being in the streets, you know, gang affiliations, selling drugs, and then he's reborn. The album had two sides. And then on the second half of the album, you know, he gets into like, you know, the Nation of Islam and he starts understanding God exists within him and all the things that he was doing that was very, you know, destructive to his community. So those two albums really tell the story of a black person in America, but specifically a black man in America. Kinda Blue and Death Certificate.
I will take that. I definitely heard the Miles Davis one. Not really Ice Cube, but I'll check it out.
Yeah, I'm willing to argue with anyone.
Yeah.
Like most people say that Illmatic is the best hip hop album in history. I would say it's number two. I say Death Certificate because it tells a story. It has everything in there, from battle raps to story raps. You know what I'm saying? To critiques on, you know, politics. It's the most comprehensive hip hop album ever.
Okay, see, I know I didn't want to get into a debate, so I like those ideas, but for me, if I had to pick two of my favorite hip hop albums of all time, first rap CD I ever bought was Nas' I Am.
Okay.
And I just fell in love with it. I wasn't
that got some cuts on it.
Couldn't relate to the Illmatic, but I couldn't relate to the I Am album. And then I love Jay-Z's Black album.
Yeah.
I loved it.
Yeah.
I loved it. We got permission to be vulnerable and talk about some of the breaking generational curses and elevating are the things that I see. Speaking of elevation, speaking of motion,
I like that.
How we get into poetry and motion.
Yeah.
What's going on there?
Well, you know, I had to, you know, shameless plug. I had to bring some props with me, man. This is what we doing, man. You know, this is what we do with the Griot Party Experience. When we talk about how has art, you know what I'm saying, influenced my life, because you become the poetry that you create on the page.
Yes.
Sometimes we write about who we're not yet. as a prescription, as a vision. And another thing that we do with the Griot Party Experience is like, I don't want to lead followers, I want to lead leaders. So there are people in the Griot Party Experience where I want to give them the torch. You know what I'm saying? I want to, you know what I'm saying, light their torch from my candle, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? And give other people in the Griot Party Experience opportunity. So with that in mind, Tiffany, you know, Bradley, who is, you know, one of our administrators, she said, man, I've been wanting to do a ball for years. And so I stayed on. I said, man, when we going to do a ball? Because we want to do something fancy. You know, I've been to New Orleans. I've been to Mardi Gras. I've heard about the Zulu ball. We don't have something like that really here in Seattle. And people don't understand that Seattle is extremely black. You know what I'm saying? We still got that energy. You know, it's quality, you know, over quantity. And like the CD used to be 70 to 75% black folks. And the Esquire Club was a place, a social club where we could go when we weren't allowed to go to, you know, country clubs. We wasn't allowed in certain, you know, fraternal orders or Masonic temples or churches and things of that nature. We had the Esquire Club. You know what I'm saying? Or we had the Black and Tan Club. You know what I'm saying? Well, we can go there and we can be safe. So we bringing that energy back. And we're bringing the poetry in motion to the Esquire Club October 25th.
Okay.
Right? And the theme, you know what I'm saying, is indigo blue. And people be like, why indigo blue? Because indigo blue is a spiritual color.
Is it?
Right? Yeah, from like the Geechee Gullah. So we're bringing that spirit from the South because that's where our roots is from. You know what I mean? And so they used to have window shades, and they used to paint them blue to keep away the hate spirits. That's from Geechee Gullah culture. So blue is a spiritual color, awareness, it heightens. And it's also a color of protection. So wear some kind of accent, whether it's just like, you know what I'm saying, something, you know, a handkerchief, you know, something, you know, a ring or something like that. You know,
already got your outfit?
Man.
What you got?
Not yet.
Okay.
That's coming soon. That's where content comes in. I'm going to take people on a journey where I'm picking out my outfit.
And I can't wear my jeans.
No, I wouldn't wear your jeans.
You know, it's
I wouldn't
for,
wear your
you
jeans.
This is
something classy, man. We trying to teach people, man, that we need to dress up. You know what I'm saying? We gotta, you know, when you get dressed up, it makes you think about the choices you make in your life. Like, I can't do that. I might mess up my fit. And then my guy Wojak, he's doing all the jewelry.
I love Wojak. Can you please just
look at this, man.
Look at that. Look at that
this.
Amethyst ring.
Man.
Look at that.
Look at that.
Look at it. Show it. Flick the wrist. Flick the wrist one more time.
Yeah.
Okay. There we go. Yeah. Look at that.
Yeah, we got the amethyst, we got the rose quartz, so Wojak, he's doing all the jewelry and stuff. You're gonna be seeing us. Y'all can get with us, you know, and get some jewelry yourself. He's over there in Tacoma. Yeah.
You know, I love Wojak, and I love the fact that you're putting on this event too. But you know, I also want people to get like a little sample, right? Mm-hmm. So can you give me an impromptu?
Because it's gonna be it's gonna be a night of poetry and live music, and DJ. You know, we got DJ Sean Malik gonna be there spinning the wheels of steel. So you want a little taste? Okay.
Yeah. Look in the camera when you do it.
Oh, right here?
Yeah,
Where we at?
Right here.
Okay.
Right there. Yeah,
okay.
Give it to us.
All right. I mixed the blood in my tears to make the beer for my pen. Got drunk off the flow and drew a picture of my sins. The only child in the crib, the only bud from a stem. These words and images became my siblings and friends. These hymns extend like fruit at the end of a limb. Pen becomes a syringe poking the paper like skin. Then becomes a paintbrush. I paint. Oh, man.
Go ahead. No, do it. Do it again. Start over. Do it again.
All right. I mixed the blood and the tears, make the beer from my pen. Got drunk off the flow and drew a picture of my sins. The only child in the crib, the only bud from a stem. These words and images became my siblings and friends. These hymns extend like fruit at the end of a limb. Pen becomes a syringe poking the paper like skin. Then becomes a paintbrush I crush until I bust. The insides of a person the same color as rust. My relationship with water's like a son or a daughter, like seeing the creator when I see myself and my partner. Killing these rappers, I gave birth to many martyrs. Son of a gun, I ride shotgun with my father and draw sunsets like they do weapons and slaughters. Take the blood from bodies and face paint the toddlers. Black work is sad, my blues paint my collar. My melanin's a mural, sun dodgers pay homage, it's me.
That was great.
Oh man, thanks, man.
That was good.
Yeah, that's from my one of the songs with my guy Verb. We got a group called Militant Intellectuals. That's from the track called Murals. That's
Okay.
out on YouTube right now. You can actually see the music video. We're all in the CD. We're going all around the CD, the South End and West Seattle, all the murals that exist, and yeah. So that's from that. So
I think that is so dope. I'm excited about this Poetry in Motion event, but I need people to go. I need people to buy tickets, so I need you to do what you do. Look in the camera, let people know what's going on.
Here's the deal. October 25th at the Royal Esquire Club. Doors is going to open at 8 p.m. You got to get your tickets. We already sold out all the booths, right? So we got some tables left. We got some VIP, ready. So October 25th at the Royal Esquire Club. Come suited, booted, all that with accents of indigo blue. We're going to have a good time. It's going to be safe and all that. Hashtag, you know what I'm saying? Don't fight, unite.
I love it. I appreciate
Peace,
you, brother. So, one more question before we get out of here. You spoke about your imaginary friends or brothers, Michael and Jason. What do you think Michael and Jason would say to you now?
Thank you for bringing us to life through you. That's what I think they would say, because there's a difference between being creative and being a creator. When you're creative, that means that you have the ability to create, but when you're a creator, that means you have the ability to create and change the trajectory and the conditions in your life. So I think they would be like, thank you for, giving us life and allowing us to live through you.
And I appreciate them brothers wherever y'all are at, Michael and Jason. If y'all in here, thanks.
They exist within me.
No, but all in all, Logic, when I first started doing this work, we literally sat down at a library and just talked about life for about an hour and a half.
Yes.
And that experience I always hold with myself, because we were trying to get a better understanding of what to do, what was getting ready to come.
Right.
COVID was just getting ready to hit. But it was such a great conversation that it'll sit with me for the rest of my life. And I'm so happy to have you as a friend in this community, because I know that I could always sit down with you. I know when something's happening, we can always tap in with each other, and I think everyone that comes around you feels that way.
Yeah,
so
and not just a friend, a brother.
Yeah.
A loved one. I consider you my brother. I love you, and I'm so proud of you. Look at this, man. You know what I'm saying? The work that you're doing, your inspiration to me and a motivation for me. So I really do appreciate you've always been there for me, and let's keep doing this work, man.
We're going to keep on doing that.
Yeah.
I appreciate you. And I'm going to ask Logic for some free tickets to this Poetry
Oh,
in Motion.
yeah.
We're going to take a quick
Oh,
break.
yeah, you in there, for real. No, I got you. No, for real. No, that's without a doubt.
No. I'm playing. I'm going to buy a ticket. But we're going to take a break. Thank you, Logic. And we're going to wrap it up here. You're watching The Day with Trae.
Yep.
I feel like the fans can feel that, and we're just going to keep this going. He struck him out! Gino, like he never left Seattle!
Keep bringing the energy. We really need it. Let's go.
Baseball Cal did it!
We show a lot of heart. This team has a lot of fight. You guys have been electric. You guys are the key to this, so thank you guys.
I'm Isaiah Carey, here to shake things up with the stories that hit hard and matter most. Here on The Factor, we cover news with grit and authenticity. We challenge the status quo and get down to real talk and bold discussions. Join us as we amplify the voices that disrupt, inspire, and lead the charge for change. Your story is power, and we're here to unleash it.
The Isaiah Factor Uncensored. New episodes weeknights at 9:30 or stream anytime on Fox Soul.
In Seattle, it's more than just coffee. It's community. At the station, we brew more than just your favorite cup. We brew connection. From Beacon Hill to Columbia City, we're a space for artists, activists, and everyone in between. A place to gather, create, and simply be. Whether you need a quiet place to work, a lively spot to meet friends, or just a moment to unwind, find your place at the station. More than coffee, it's home. Visit us in Beacon Hill or Columbia City. The Station, where community happens.
Hey, y'all. It's a wrap. But before we go, I definitely have to thank Logic and his socks and his Megan niece for coming into the studio today and blessing us with his presence.
How do you even know what
make
that
sure,
means?
Well, I'll explain later. But I'm very happy to have him come in every time Logic has something to come up. Let's put the flyer up. Let's put the flyer up. Make sure, not you put the flyer up. We're going to put it up here so people can see it. Poetry in Motion, y'all. Poetry in Motion, October 25th. Make sure that you tap in. I love Logic because what Logic does is he taps in when something is happening. No different from Poetry in Motion. We got to stay in motion with each other. That means that you need to go to whereweconverge.com and events and tap in with upcoming events that are happening here. I want to thank Logic. I want to thank Eric. I want to thank Mead. And I just want to thank community. Remember to walk with love, y'all. And y'all have a blessed day. I will see y'all tomorrow. The Day with Trae, y'all.
Converge Media produces culturally relevant content for Black and urban audiences. Our coverage is raw, transparent, and objective, praised by community leaders, government officials, and residents. Support Converge Media today via Venmo, Cash App, or PayPal at Converge Media.